Hey guys, so I went to see Piece by Piece yesterday. It's Pharrell's biopic, and he utilized Legos to tell his story, which I think, just growing up listening to Pharrell, watching Pharrell in fashion and his personality, I think that was perfect, and it's not really off key for him to do something like that because he's always been very unique in expressing himself through fashion, through music, and that's what everybody loves about Pharrell. And it's so funny because while watching the movie, we were kind of thinking, does anybody not like Pharrell? He's such a likable person, and the movie was great. Like, I think the movie was like a 10. I really enjoyed the movie. It was very motivational. It was very touching to see his story. Jay-Z, I knew that Jay-Z had a relation to Pharrell, but I wasn't aware of how close they were, and that was interesting to see Jay-Z. The film was given an 81% on Rotten Tomatoes, and I don't know. I probably would have went a little bit higher. I probably would have gave it maybe a 90, 92, just because of significant things that I think are missing. And I saw a review about that as well. Here's some other comments of what other people also had to say. Where I saw a comment where somebody thought that it was missing information. And I thought that too, especially because I was in that era where Tiana Taylor debuted, and I thought, I would see her or her story be told somewhere a little bit because she was his artist. Kendrick Lamar was here just because he did a record with Kendrick Lamar. He also did a record with Gwen Stefani. So she played a role in the movie as well. Justin Timberlake was also in the movie because he's done records with Justin Timberlake. And it was an overall very feel good and motivational kind of movie. Talked about his relationship with his parents and his grandmother. And also, I definitely did not know that he had such a close relationship with Pusha T. And something that showed throughout the movie that I really loved is how much every time Pharrell elevated in his career or in his life, he always pulls another person up. And it doesn't have to be necessarily because they grew up together, but just people he meets, And I think that's an important lesson or something important about friendships, and that's important about how people relate to each other, is how the relationships in your life, how do they affect you? Is it a step up or is it a step down? And man, he's really an amazing person. And he showed kind of a downside, during his career. He said he was really mean. He didn't really go in depth about, exactly, how he was really mean. I think what I could interpret from it is that he was so focused on business at times that he didn't pay attention to how it affected others and if he neglected other things in his life. That's the only thing I can assume from it. But like I said, it was a really refreshing because right now we have been kind of like inundated with so much negativity when it comes to this upcoming trial with Diddy and just, negative talk about the music industry. So it was just refreshing to see a real good, like a perspective that did not entail anything negative, no connotation that has to do with anything negative or fishy going on. Just, Pharrell's natural climb up in the industry and his success, and his grandmother kind of instilling or helping him also. He got left back twice in the seventh grade, and it's obviously not because he wasn't smart. And I think that I wish that he kind of expounded on that a little bit, because that's something as well. Schools are becoming better with that, where kids who have different learning abilities, right? And sometimes your focus or lack thereof can hinder someone, right? Or, some things or some, departments or areas are not for every kid. And it doesn't necessarily mean that this kid is going to be a failure, but they just, you just gotta have to try different things. And it looks like that's what his parents had to do with him. He ended up finding a liking for music. His grandmother, I think, she kind of watched him and built this relationship and dynamic with him, and pushed him in the direction of music as well, as if like she was there when he found his niche. And when he pushed towards that and they encouraged him and they believed in him, he actually found himself there. Also, I find Pharrell to really be very in touch with himself and very spiritual and very like I really enjoyed how he reads people kind of like energetically. When he is doing music with someone, he's not just like doing it like, oh, here's a record. He looks at the person, he observes the person, he kind of, I don't know, I love music, so I get that, because it's not all music that is for me, but there's some music that speaks to me. And I think that is something that resonates for him. Like he seems like a visionary. He seems like somebody who's very, like I said, in touch with themselves. And I loved listening to the backstory where he met, or he kind of built upon more on his relationship with Jay-Z once Jay-Z became a superstar. And I think where Jay-Z was in his life at that moment, that's where he came up with the song, I'm a hustler, baby. And because I think Jay-Z was like, kind of a ladies' man at that time. So, I mean, I enjoyed every minute of it. And then I had to go back because I'm like, there's no way that this song was only 10 years old. Because I looked it up on YouTube, the song with Teddy Riley, Rump Shaker, because I had no idea that Pharrell was behind the lyrics on that song as well. But no, that song debuted in 1992. Because I was like, the math doesn't make sense, because Pharrell is like 50 something. So I had to kind of make that make sense for myself. But it was just so interesting to see how he put things all together and how his brain works. And it's nice to see that path and him follow his dream and the fulfillment, and sharing his failure and just sitting in that and accepting that, and then also being able to see him revisit it again and just accept his failure, or accept where he went wrong. And even the people around him, accept that and still commend him. I liked how Pusha T supported him, and Jay-Z, and it was just beautiful. And I think this side of the music industry being promoted, I think we needed this right now with all the negative things that we've been hearing. It's just beautiful. And I really enjoyed the movie, and I would definitely watch it again. I loved it. And that's all I have to say for now. Did you watch it? Do you plan to watch it? And I think that if you do watch it, you will love it. I think that Tiana Taylor was missing, though, because I definitely feel like she was a big part of the story, even though it didn't work out because she asked to be released from her deal. But I guess it was just a light, touch on, his story. But it was beautiful. And his family is gorgeous. He also talked about how he met his wife, Helen, and they have 4 kids. And that was also a notable love story as well. And they both seem to match each other because they're both very, what is it, eclectic or eccentric? So what do you guys think? Comment down below.